Good evening and welcome to the Immersive Experience. I'm your guide, Desi Lou, and tonight we are going to be talking about the journey to self. I also zoom in on focus, attention, and discipline because those are things that I have had a lot of trouble with in my journey to self. I think that they were really important to me. Knowing to when to apply them, knowing what they actually meant, knowing that there's a difference between focus, and knowing there's a difference between attention. Attention and focus, of course, they're interchangeable. You can put them together, apply them. I can have focused attention, right? So just knowing when to apply that focused attention to yourself. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that we miss, like I said last week, due to not processing the things that we go through. How can we understand the pattern of us if we refuse to see ourselves? I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people always tell me, like, you know, what I've been hearing a lot, and I know this is just people at me because this is what I need. I've been needing it lately. I've been hearing a lot of talk about discipline. And discipline is a tricky little sucker. It's because, like, sometimes I got it, most days I don't. And I don't be having no discipline at all. So currently I decided that I was going to take the initiative to do something about not having the discipline that I want to have, to be more focused, to be more attentive to the needs of me, my feelings, my thoughts. Why am I triggered by something? I need to look deeper into myself. And I think that a lot of times people will hear you talking about yourself, and because their confidence doesn't float where your confidence does, they're instantly going to think that you're cocky. Think that, bitch, because I am. So, however, cocky than a motherfucker, because I know me. Like, I'm the best thing since sliced bread, bitch. Who else? Okay. You might not think so, but I definitely do. No, and I think at the end of the day, I know that's all that matters. I don't give a fuck about what nobody else got to say. You know, like, I stopped caring about that shit a long time ago. I ain't had no reason to. What am I care about somebody else's opinion of me? It don't make me. It don't break me. When I look in the mirror, I be happy to look at me. Fat and all. Rolls hanging out my shorts. I don't give a damn. I'll be happy to look at me because it's something that I created. It's a lot of things that I poured into me. It's a lot of things that I refuse to do, or it's a lot of ways that I refuse to move because of the person that I am. And I'm not going to let nobody come in and shake me up on that. I think this week is like the return of the exes, right? Because I had like guys that I used to mess with. So many of them contacted me this week. I said so many, it was only 3. But however, like, that's a lot. But not even exes, because like I tell you guys all the time, I've only ever been in one relationship. But these guys spent the block this time. And the guy that I've been in the one relationship with, he calls me this week. And he was essentially telling me that I am merciless. You hear me? Merciless. I like that. I like that for me. I like that I'm merciless. Because when I show you mercy, bitch, no. This shit could get real for you. And it could wholeheartedly get real for you, because I am the merciless. I don't really got a whole lot of mercy for a lot of people like that, because I feel like if I come into you and I take my time to get to know you, I focus on you, I give you the attention that I know you need. Me as a person, I'm gonna study you, right? So I'm gonna look at you, I'm gonna see what's to you, I'm gonna see what you about. And then if I tell you about me, or I show you me, and you counter it, the fuck? I feel like your actions just showed me what the fuck you about. But I should come back. A lot of people feel like I should keep staying in shit. Oh, you need to stay. You need to fight. You need to do. I don't think that. Shit that if I get something wrong, it's not, and you tell me that it's detrimental to you, but it has no bearing on the person that I am. Or say if you say like, oh, I don't like your tone about something, or I don't like, okay, I understand it. And the next time I talk to you, I'm gonna definitely try and reel that in. It's really a thing like where people cross me, and I mean they cross me in a way that they can't uncross me. that's when I become merciless. Like, cause what the fuck are you doing? Like, people talk about cheating all the time. I keep seeing the post about 50-50. And I had to ask a few people, like, what the fuck are we going 50-50 on? Like, I need to know. If y'all talking about the bills and shit, to me, like, I do think that's delusion. I mean, if you want to go 50-50 and you have the criteria to go 50-50, then by all means go 50-50. But like in real life scenarios, if it's a person where if you're making more money or your person is out of a job or something of that nature, how the fuck we finna go 50-50? You gotta understand everything not gonna always be 50-50. But if we talking about in the sense of like 50-50 is you got my back, I got your back. Whenever shit fall off, I got you. Like, then I can understand the concept of it. But relationships tend to balance how they balance due to the situations that we encounter. If you have a husband who was rich and then he just fell the fuck off, are you leaving him because he can no longer foot the bill? Are you like, are we going to be like, oh, okay, you got to get a job at Walmart now? Or are you going to go out and get a job and make the money that's required to see him through or to see her through? Either way, whoever's the breadwinner in the house, because these households are very, very, like what am I trying to say? They're by case, really. Relationships are by case. So I feel like we're all trying to apply this textbook knowledge or this textbook ideology to multiple relationships. And the reality is, the way that we have our relationships in the world is we don't all have the same relationship. Some people with monogamy, some people it's like polygamy, some people want open shit, get married and still want to fuck other people. Like, it's just different ways that this shit can go. And the thing about me, what makes me so merciless for people is I don't apply force. And I feel like that's what makes me so merciless. Because to me, if you tell me, oh, I'm done with you, I don't want to deal with you anymore. Okay. I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, I really love you, please stay. I'm not. You made up your mind. There's no reason for me to change it. I tell a lot of people, like, some things almost feel like manipulation. As a salesperson, they always wanted us to pitch things like, oh my gosh, if you do this, and if they say no to one product, then you're moving down to the next product. Like, yeah, well, if that doesn't work for you, then And then what I learned as a salesperson is that basically I'm annoying the fuck out of my customer, because now all I'm doing is giving you alternative after alternative after alternative, and none of them suit you. Okay, bitch, well, figure the shit out. I don't know what the fuck else to tell you. and you essentially, you don't make a sale. So to me, and that's kind of like what it is when people tell me that, hey, listen, I don't want to deal with you anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm that person. Don't tell me nothing that you don't mean. And then deem me merciless. Nigga, you asked for it. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you stupid? Gotta be. Is it crack you're smoking? It's crack. Yeah, so all of those types of things. And so it's just a lot of different things. I've never wanted to force me on a person. I know for a fact that I have before. So one thing that I know is just by knowing that, I don't ever want to have that feeling again, because it becomes, I suffered a lot. I suffered mentally, I suffered emotionally, physically. Cause then people be like, well, I love you, but then they only take from you, they only use you, or they don't show up when you need them, but you can always show up when they need you. But one thing about being the person that I am is, if you take advantage of me and I remove myself from the situation, maybe you're gonna have a hard time winning me back. I really don't believe in second chances. Like, come back for what? And I really, a lot of things that people tell me, I really have to perception, right? So I take what they perceived and I apply it in my mind. I scour myself on the inside, looking for things where that can fit, or in every dimension of me. Like, okay, am I egotistical? Like, am I cocky? Or is this confidence? I mean, I want to work through this. am I really okay with my man sleeping with another woman? Am I okay with that? Or is it just something that I've been conditioned to think because of an insecurity? There was a question that was asked, and it said, are you easy to please, or are you just accustomed to being neglected? Or have you grown accustomed to being neglected? And I really had to sit there and I really thought about it, but it's a nice combination of both for me, right? I'm easy to please, but I've also grown accustomed to being neglected as well. But it doesn't take much to please me. So it don't take much to please me. Everything it takes to please me is free, goddamn. And I don't think that I ever would have found that out had I never sat down and was really like, okay, let me take a step back from sex. Let me take a step back from all the things that could possibly cloud my judgment about a person before I really want to enter a relationship with a person. Let me really think about what I'm doing with my finances. Let me really think about what type of job I want, how I want my career to go. Is it something where I want to work for somebody? And if I don't want to work for somebody, what do I see myself doing? What type of business am I building? What type of revenue would I be able to bring in? What are my talents? What are my skills? I had to assess myself to the point of what kind of jobs would I be good at? My mom, she gave me this big posty note, and she told me, she was like, well, write down what you're good at, write down what things that you like to do and different things like that. Are you coming in? Oh, I have to slide this back, right? Because it's really really close. And so I was just so for me, it was really a thing of just really seeing what I'm capable of, what I'm able to do. And so after writing those down, it dawned on me like, yeah, you've accomplished a lot, but it feels like you've accomplished nothing. Like, you got a lot that you could work on. You got a lot that you could focus on. You got a lot of things that you could pinpoint and really make something out of. But if you don't take the time to do it, then out of all those things, then you're just gonna have those skills and talents that are just gonna fall by the wayside, and you're never gonna do anything with them because you have no idea what you want to do with yourself.
I mean, you always got to take time to clear the fog out of your head.
I agree.
Because life can take you on some journeys that you really didn't ask for. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about discipline can also be a distraction, because trying to discipline ourselves and moving in a direction that's going to bring the best positiveness out of our lives, then you got to check out your environment and see where you're at. You know, are you living in a chaotic house? Are you having trouble in your family? You know, because I remember as a former drug addict, and I lived in a place where there was nothing but drug addicts there, you know. And the drug dealer, he used to always come to my house. And so in order for me to stay off of drugs, I had to find discipline. And I had to learn to say no. And I had to learn to let some people go. You know, especially my old community that I thought that was my friends, but they wasn't nothing, you know, really to me, because if I died that night from an overdose, then what? You know, it's so important that we take charge of our life no matter what we're experiencing. I mean, because it's like a scaffold. You know, one thing can lead to another. One step. But this is the thing. The steps can be negative and the steps can be positive. And so discipline is really important, because if you want to see a difference in your life, it's hard. Trust me, discipline is hard. I cry, I beat a wall, I do whatever. But you got to keep your mind in a positive space. And, you know, and if you have to, you know, talk to God, you know, because all of these areas in our lives is very important. They come together as a 360 circle. Mm-hmm. Our spiritual, our attitude, our mind, our soul, all of those things, our conscious, and what we have on the inside of us. You know, you got to check yourself, you know, or say, for instance, say like, oh, you're in a bad relationship, and you always tend to pick bad men. Be like, what is it that gravitates me to these type of men, and I don't want them? I don't want to go through this headache anymore. So some of these things, you just have to put a halt to it. You just got to say, I'm going to stop it, you know. and find ways and stick to it. Because you want your liberty. You want your liberty and your freedom so you can experience the vast amount of wonderful things that's offered to you in your life. And if you got, children in the midst of it, they're the next generation and you want to help move them. So discipline is very important.
I agree.
Very important.
I think a lot of times that's really what holds me up in my progression. Really just trying to get through the act of being like, okay, we're doing this. And being consistent about it, really.
Right.
So I feel like I said, I think discipline is just consistency. Because now I have to be consistent about it. And how do I be consistent about it? Oh, I have to get disciplined about it. So I understand that they're both different,
right.
But in order for one to work, you have to have one, or you have to have both of them.
Right.
I can't be consistent if I lack discipline,
right.
And I can't have discipline if I lack consistency. So those are two things that
they're interchangeable.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. Really.
You gotta be able to do it all.
So,
and then another thing that you gotta add to your newfound life is you gotta believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And you gotta have faith. These things, they really do work. You apply it to your life, they really do work. Things have been tough, even if you had some kind of shaky background and you just like, I gotta change, because you're not ready to die. You're not ready to give up. You're not ready to just let somebody run over your life. So it's up to you. If it is to be, it's up to you to make it happen. And discipline is everything.
It is.
It's part of the circle.
How do you feel about focus and attention? Do you think that those are, I know they're interchangeable, but the difference between the two? Do you think there's a difference between the two? Do you think that you need to know when to focus and when to just have attention?
Attention, it can be on anything.
Mm-hmm.
You give your attention to your children. You give your attention to your husband. You give your attention to, attention is short term. Mm-hmm. Like they say, some people have ADHD. Attention can be very short term. You give your attention to the TV when you're watching it. Attention is like, it's just like attention. Like when a sergeant, it comes in and goes, sergeant say, attention for a moment. They got it hooked and all that kind of stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But when you focus, that means you're zooming in on something that you want to change. And then that's when consistency and discipline and all of it comes with a wrap of different things that you got to do. Attention is different because you can give your attention to anything. People can, say like the commercial Mayhem. The insurance commercial. And and them people be driving, and then they go, Mayhem, he dancing, he doing everything, he throwing water on his face, and they got their attention. And then all of a sudden, they have an accident. What a commercial, right? And sometimes when we give our attention to too much stuff, we have an accident in life. We have an accident. It's like, how in the hell am I going to get out of this? What kind of insurance that I need to give myself? What kind of benefits do I need to give myself so that I can stay up out of this? That's when your discipline and your focus has to come in, because attention, it comes and it goes. Most definitely.
Then that focus is what's gonna help you find your patterns. What's gonna help you. You really got to be aware of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think for awareness is a focus. Because I'm aware, so I'm focused on what's happening to me.
Yeah.
Or I have.
That was the table.
Oh, well, I was gonna something up here. Not right. But I don't know. I think it's just a lot of different things. What's 50-50 to you?
Well, I heard you talking a lot about 50-50.
Yeah,
And I
had a few conversations.
Because if now, 50-50 is something that sounds really good,
It do
right?
sound good.
Oh, you do 50-50 and I do 50-50 and we're going to be okay. But like she said, if that person busts out with cancer, if they lose their job, and who going to be, how's it going to run then?
Yeah.
50-50, it might come down to 20-70.
And we all encounter problems every single day. You get
Yeah.
sick. You got days where you can't even get up and wash the dishes because
Oh
you're
my
too
God.
sick, can't clean up the house.
Can't go to work.
If you don't want to take care of some children.
You don't have your, what's that, the time off?
Your
don't have
PTO.
You don't have none of that,
Okay.
Or 50-50 ain't going to happen if there's a divorce.
We taking everything.
Yeah.
No,
And sometimes it may not be nothing
Give
to
it
take.
here.
You might become a single parent. It ain't going to be no 50-50.
I'm taking the
It's
child.
going to be 100% on the family.
Yeah.
Period. So 50-50 is malarkey.
For some people, like I said, it's per case.
But if you can, yeah, it's per case, because
So-
if you pulling in that cash and your money is, you have almost an endless reserve, you got your bank account all stacked up and everything.
Yeah, you got your
Yeah.
savings and stuff
you
that.
have all of that, then you can do a 50-50 like that, because that's when they come in with those what's those documents they make them sign.
Prenups?
It ain't no 50-50.
Yeah.
You come with what now? Then, y'all just meet on the love base. You just work it out.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and hopefully everything will work out. But like I say, discipline falls into so many different areas. You might be focusing on your business. You might be focusing on your children's sports. You may be focusing on how to start a new career, in a later age. That's kind of like with me, starting things all over, so, your life might have hit a big bump in the road, and it's like, dang, yeah, I'm going to pull up from this. So that's when the discipline and the focus, has to come in, and you have to do that contact with yourself and take that time out to, love on yourself. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. You can go buy you some balloons and some flowers, You can start playing some wonderful, relaxing music to help you get focused and to get disciplined. You can always see a counselor. These things are available for us to take the time out to really get our lives straightened out so we can get the best and go where we want to go and do what we want to do in life.
I agree with that. I think that we just gotta really put more into ourselves. I always say that it's easy for us to equate our value outside of ourselves, which is why it's like, for me, it was like really a thing where I say, I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna discipline myself to know that this is what I need. And I feel like a lot of times I came into the ideology of I'm gonna focus on myself.
Right.
But even though I was focusing on myself, I'd still give all of my resources away. Because it was like, oh, we can still, you can still focus on yourself and still help other people. But in reality, no, you can't. You cannot. Especially if it's a person who's consistently asking you for money. If it's a person that's consistently asking you for like things like that. Like, especially, people will be like, it's not above my means. I got it. But essentially, you don't have it. If at the next week they didn't pay you back and you're struggling because you don't have that money back, you ain't have it to give in the first place.
Right.
Never give money away.
Areas that individuals need to focus on too.
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving away everything and or belittling yourself to make somebody else look good?
Yeah.
And that's when that self-evaluation comes in. That's really important to do that self-evaluation. Like me, I'm so used to giving, and I used to bring homeless people in my home at one point, and I found nothing wrong with that, but one day I had to stop it, and You just gotta start balancing stuff out, and what's in the best interest for you. I learned that word called you give them respect, but you deserve respect back. It's just not just a one-way street, and
They
and
not
some
able
people
to give it. Get the fuck on.
yeah, and then also if you're too angry, why are you too angry? That's something that has to be looked at and balanced out and focused on, because some people will have a whole lot of regrets and regression and ugliness, and it could be grief. It could be anything. That could be, they always say a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and then we can get our focus with these things. So you want to bring your life back into the light, and then you want to focus on these things because it's going to help you. It's hard, and I always say that it is. But you know what I love about me? Find some things that you love about yourself. My personality, my character, or, when I learned something new, like I stood up for myself. I stood up for myself, or, and then journaling is very important too. And so, and that's going to zoom you in because you don't have to journal just because, people in treatment, they journal all the time. But it's okay to journal even if you don't have anything major going on. And if you do have something major going on, you write it out and say, how did this make me feel? And what can I do to change it? And it's gonna impact your life.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you.
Sure.
That's a guarantee.
I just really ask all the time.
Self-evaluation is
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
But I just really ask all the time, just give me the wisdom. I just need to be able to apply the wisdom for when to say yes and give me the strength for when I need to say no. Because what I say all the time, a yes costs you everything.
Me too.
But
I thought about that.
A no costs you nothing.
Yeah.
So I really just think that you just really gotta be in tune with yourself enough to know, like, okay, yeah, I do got $350 that you could possibly borrow. But if I give you this $350, where does that leave me?
Right.
What am I without? Or yeah, I do got a place that you could stay because I understand that you homeless, but what does that cost me?
Right.
What am I losing out on? What am I missing out on? Yeah, and you really gotta
give up your freedom in the home.
Okay? And don't nobody want to do that
Yeah.
shit. Because, boy, you be crowding my space, invading my space, and I just want you to get the fuck out. Get out. Get out.
That's what she say. Yeah, and so those are the things that you really got to look at, because sometimes we don't ask ourselves those questions. We just say, oh, yes, no problem. Yeah, that would be me, not her.
It's true.
Okay. And then all of a sudden, something starts grumbling up inside of me. Oh, I should have never did that. Oh, I don't like that. I got to give them the key. Or, something to that nature, stuff like that. I should have never gave them my phone number.
Right. You just really got to find the places where you understand where you really neglecting you. And I don't think there's a lot of places that we miss where we're neglecting ourselves because we're too busy focusing on everybody else, because it's hard for us to focus on ourselves. I like to think that, like I say all the time, if you got a problem with you, fix you first before you approach me. Because, and even if the information is good, it does not matter. Have you seen it put to use? Did you put it to use? Have you seen it firsthand? I don't really care for that type of shit. I'm an observer, so for me, it's like if you live it, then I'll pick up on it.
Right.
Because it's easier to see it being done than opposed to just, oh, these are words. Oh yeah, it sound impossible because I ain't never did it before, bitch. Obviously, you ain't never did it before either, so I don't know what the fuck you think we're finna do. We're gonna be the blind leading the blind, and that's exactly what the fuck that is.
Right.
You just hope that shit work out. You hope that you get something that's just kind of like, oh yeah, this worked out for the best for me, and then you go and tell everybody else about it because it's trial and error, right?
And that's
But
what it is, trial and error.
that's it.
It's important to know that we're going to have, I call them hiccups, but no, it'd be some fuck ups.
Okay, fuck up.
It'd
Big
be some
ones.
fuck ups, experience death when I lost my daughter, what do? Experiencing homelessness, experiencing just people experience, especially when COVID came on the scene. A lot of people got screwed up during that time, and they just didn't know what to do, And then how did they focus? Some people focus in totally different ways, But it's important that you don't let your ship sink. I don't care. Start taking the bucket and dipping the water out and throwing it back into the ocean. So you won't go down with the ship. You're going to be the captain. You better hold it down and keep on making it happen. It's possible. It is so possible to stay focused and to discipline yourself. You want that business to grow, it's time to start doing the necessary things, because like I got a whole lot of business cards. Those business cards is not going to reach those people's houses if I don't get out there and do some outreach or make some phone calls. Ain't nothing going to happen. If you keep on dreaming it and thinking it and you're not doing anything about it, it's just an illusion, baby. It's just an illusion. And so we would have to discipline ourselves to get out there and do it. It's easy to sit at home and watch TV and want to eat some barbecue,
smoke a
baked
blunt.
beans. That's her. But some barbecues and baked beans and some really good food. But you want to see something happen, make it happen.
Make it happen. You gotta make a lot of shit happen.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any know-how on how
And
to
get
make
somebody,
it happen,
get a partner.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be your
Somebody that's
husband or
gonna
your
hold you
boyfriend. Just be
accountable.
somebody, get somebody accountability buddy.
yeah.
Accountability buddy, somebody who still got the same dream like you, and they want to be an entrepreneur, and y'all can hold each other accountable, and that way, you will be focused, and the other person will be focused, and you can bounce stuff off of one another. Accountability buddy, you can do that too. There's so many, choices and options out there for us to stay focused, on where we want to go in life.
Yeah. So, well, I do thank you guys for tuning into the immersive experience tonight. So I'll see you guys next week at 7 p.m. CST. And I just want to say, I'll leave my remark, and then if you have something you'd like to add, you're more than welcome. That if you have attention, focus in on something that is really, really important to you, or really you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And then from that passion, you'll build your discipline. It'll come. And it just walk like everything that you want. It's like you're walking into a memory.
Yeah.
Like it's just a memory. Just remember it all. Okay. So I seen a CEO do such and such. I think you're gonna do it. Just do it. Want to be a cleaning lady? You understand? This is a business. What most businesses got? They got business cards. What most businesses got? Oh, they got uniforms. If that's something that you're interested in, then that's interesting. If you got a boutique, then you're thinking, okay, what most boutique got? Clothes. Bitch, you better get some clothes. It's just different things. If you already know what you want to do, then you have an ideal of how you can move and elevate that thought. But most times we become stagnant because of the thought of, I can't because I've never done. Just do it. Then you've done it. So now it's easier. What a lot of people say, it's easier said than done until you do it. And then it's easier done than said.
And then you will be excited about the movement that's taking place in your life. Now, Ephesians 11:1, this is my final word. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So I don't know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, but I'm going to operate in faith. And I'm going to keep on trusting and believing in God.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into the immersive experience tonight. And you have a lovely evening.